Today we've got a short sequence for digestion if you have tummy ache. So sit in a comfortable seated position, legs crossed if you can, hands on the knees, palms facing upwards, thumb and forefinger together. And then come into a child's pose. So bring your knees out to the width of the mat, hands out forward, and just relax forward, forehead on the floor if you can. And just relax, breathe in this position and be comfortable. If you have tummy ache, it'll feel good, which is the most important thing. So just relax, breathe normally. Allow the head to just relax into the mat. And then gently move back up. Bring your knees together and make fists with your hands. And then put your hands just underneath your belly button. Breathe in and then lean forward over your fists. Place your forehead on the floor if you can. And just let your elbows rest out to the side. This is really, really good for digestion if you have any constipation or tummy upsets. Maybe not tummy upsets, but constipation it's good for. So just relax, breathe normally, be as comfortable as possible. And you might even feel your digestive system working beneath your hands, which is a good thing. Relax in this pose. You should be really comfortable. And slowly come back up. Put your hands on the floor in front of you and we'll come into a cat-cow. So knees should be underneath the hips, hands should be underneath the shoulders. And then bring the tummy up, fold upwards and drop the tummy down, stick your butt out, forehead to the sky and just roll the spine forward and then down and allow the movement to follow your breath. Great pose for any time of day, but particularly in the morning when we're a bit stiff. Just gets everything moving, gets the spine moving, gets the digestion moving. Just generally makes you feel really, really good. So continue the moves, forwards, down, and then come to stillness. And then point your right leg out behind you and your left arm out in front of you. Flex the foot, toes pointing downwards, and just hold for a few breaths in this position. Just working the abdominals just a little bit, just a tiny little bit. Then bring the hand and the knee down to the ground, and we'll do the same on the other side. So lift the left leg, flex the toes down, lift the right arm, and just pull towards the opposite ends of the mat. You will be a bit wobbly, it's natural. And then come back down, hands on the mat, knees to the mat. Bring your toes together and bring your knees to the width of the mat, and we'll go back into a child's pose. Rest with your forehead on the floor if you can. You can always put a block underneath your forehead if you're not reaching the floor. And just relax forward in this pose. Breathing normally. Enjoy the gentle stretch in your back. And then come back up onto all fours. And then just cross your legs and you come back into a seated position. So bring your legs out in front. And we're going to lie down. So do the lying down mindfully. Stretch the legs out. And we'll just take a couple of breaths in Shavasana. So let your arms rest out to the side. Palms facing upwards. Feet just fall out to the sides. Now bring your feet together, arms by the side. And with your legs straight, lift your right leg up. And then gently pull your knee towards you. You can put your hands underneath the knee or on top of the knee, whatever's most comfortable. And then just pull your knee towards your chest and just breathe normally. If you're having any problems with your digestion, if you're constipated, for example, you'll probably feel the movement. You might feel the gases moving around in this position. Perfectly normal. And then bring your hands down, point the toe to the sky, and then bring the straight leg down. Take a breath. And then on the out breath, lift the left leg and then bend it and pull the knee towards your chest. Breathing normally, comfortably. No need to pull too much, just a gentle movement. Now release the hands, point the toes to the ceiling and bring the straight leg back down to the floor. Then hands out to the side, let the feet relax outwards and just take a couple of breaths in Shavasana before we lift both legs. So on the next out breath, bring both of your legs up, either both together or one at a time. If you have lower back pain, it's better to do it separately. Then bring your knees to your chest, either holding above the knee or below. And this pose is particularly good if you have tummy troubles. It's actually known as the wind relieving pose. And it's very effective. So just relax. On your next out breath, lift the head and just hold here. Try and breathe normally. And just hold your head up for as long as you can without straining your neck. And just breathe, relax. And release the head, release the hands, point the toes to the ceiling. And then gently bring your legs back down, keeping them straight back down to the floor. And then allow the feet to drop open to the side, the hands to relax by the side of you, and just take a couple of breaths in Shavasana. Gentle breaths. Then bring the feet together, hands to the side, and bring your feet as close to your bottom as possible. You should be able to touch your heels with your fingertips. And then breathe in, and on the out breath, lift your hips up towards the ceiling and hold. Try not to tighten the muscles of your glutes too much. Try and release just a little if you can. And that'll allow the back muscles to do a little bit more of the work rather than the bottom muscles. Gentle breaths in this pose, bridge pose. And then when we do release, do it very carefully and mindfully. The vertebra by vertebra to the floor. So upper back, mid back, lower back, sacrum. And then give your knees a gentle hug, rock from side to side just to ease the back bend you just did. And just relax, enjoy the gentle motion. And then we're going to go into happy baby pose. So pull the legs up to the ceiling. The feet should be facing the ceiling. And you want to grab the outsides of the feet. And just pull your legs down a little. Try and pull the sacrum down also so that you're not pulling too much of your bum from the floor. And just hold. You can rock a little side by side if you like that sensation, but just hold. Very good stretch. for the back and the legs. And then release the legs. Hold the knees for a second, and then release one leg, followed by the other leg to the floor, and then relax for a couple of breaths in Shavasana. Gentle breaths. Now bend your legs and then rock forward into a seated position. We're going to do a seated twist. So you want about a fist width distance between your knee and your foot. And then we're going to twist around to the right. So pull across. No, don't do that at all. You want to hold onto your knee and pull over to the right side. So you can either hold onto your knee or you can place your elbow over your knee, which is a little bit more difficult. And you want your right hand to be about the middle part of your back on the floor, but don't dump all your weight onto your hand, and then pull yourself sideways so you're gazing over your right shoulder. And on each exhale, just try and twist a little more. And then release the head, release the hands, straighten the legs, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So bend the left leg, hold the left leg with your right arm, or place your elbow over the top of your knee, and then place the left hand in the middle of your back on the floor. But don't dump all your weight on the floor. If you wanted to, you should be able to lift the hand, and then twist over, gazing over the left shoulder. And just breathe normally. Every exhale, trying to just pull yourself a little bit more into the stretch. Twists are particularly good for digestion. And release the head, release the arms, release the feet. So straighten both legs, place your hands by the side of you, straighten your torso, and just hold in this position, staff pose, just for a moment, and then stretch up overhead and fold forward. And if you can grab your feet or your big toes and just pull yourself forward into this seated forward fold. Really can hold anywhere you like. You don't have to be touching your feet, and your legs don't have to be straight. If you can see, mine aren't always very straight. Bearing in mind I was filming this first thing in the morning, and I am always tight first thing in the morning. So just hold, pull yourself forward. Try not to curve your back too much. Mine is probably a little bit curved there. It should be a little bit straighter. And just hold. Enjoy the gentle stretch as you breathe normally. Very good stretch. Now release the hands and just come back up into a seated position. And then bring the knees up, and we're going to come back into a boat pose. So just a little bit of abdominal work just for a couple of breaths. So bring the feet off the floor and balance on your bottom, and hold this pose. Breathe normally. You might get a little bit of shaking. It's perfectly normal. But we're not going to hold it for too long, especially if you've got tummy ache. You don't want to do too much. So try and hold a little longer. And then come back up, cross the legs, and come over onto your knees, onto your hands and knees. And then bring the big toes together. Bring your knees out to the sides so that they're about the mat's width apart, and then come down into a child's pose, stretching the hands out in front of you. Just relax into this pose. Breathe normally. Be comfortable. It's a lovely pose, this one. This is good for, if you're not feeling very well, child's pose is just a really nice pose to be in. It's a good one if you have period pains as well. You put cushion underneath your belly and just fold forward onto it. It's yummy. So just continue a couple more breaths, hands out in front, good stretch in the arms, breathing. And then come back up and then come into a comfortable seated position. And we're just going to finish off just with a little bit of breathing. So I think we'll do some Kapalabhati, which is again very good for digestion. So close your eyes, hands on the knees, palms facing upwards, hands in Dhyana Mudra. And then if you put one hand on your belly, you'll be able to feel the movement. And you're going to do 60 breaths. So you breathe in and then breathe out as if you were trying to expel a fly from your nose, for example. So you do 20, 20, 20. You might get a little dizzy. Again, that's perfectly normal, nothing to worry about. But it's really good for the tummy muscles. I should have really recorded the sound of this, but we're having work done on the house. And it's too noisy out there at the moment. Hence the voiceover. Okay, now just come back into a comfortable seat, hands in Dhyana Mudra. Close the eyes and just take a few breaths as we relax after this short sequence, especially for digestion. And that's it. Namaste, folks. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you're feeling much, much better.